Okay, so we'll be looking at another part of the Mabinogi Eternity section on the Korean website. So the 4-point skirt is actually... So we develop with Unreal Engine, so of course the skirt will naturally flow, right? This time we will focus on expressing natural movement in costume animation, especially skirt-shaped costumes. Let me introduce you to the animation-related R&D process. Let's briefly recall the key animation and rigging and skinning introduced in the hair animation section. Key animation holds the key by moving the position of the skeleton for each frame. Rigging and skinning connect each vertex of the modeling to the skeleton rigging and give the skeleton a weight to be affected by its movement, skinning. 4-point skirt, not bulletproof. Taking the popo skirt as an example, the skirt hem of the popo skirt is rigged and skinned to the leg bones. So when the legs move, due to the key animation, the attached skirt moves together. So what should I do to make the skirt part of the 4-point skirt move separately? You just need to create an additional skeleton to move the skirt and set a separate key animation. Volitions who have seen the hair animation process will have already noticed, but there is a problem. So they're just saying the same, they're just using the hair example here. If this continues, the skeleton will continue to proliferate as each costume has a different shape. However, this is a problem I have already experienced once with hair animation. Just apply the same solution as hair animation. So, cloth simulation. It is a type of physics-based animation that was previously introduced in hair animation. It refers to a technology that imitates the motion of flexible materials such as clothing or fabric. What makes hair animation different from physically based animation is that cloth simulation movements do not require a skeleton. Of course, since physical calculations are performed at the vertex level instead, it is bound to be heavy in terms of performance. What if we combined Mabinogi with cloth simulation, which is excellent for expressing the smooth movement of fabric? I started applying the cloth simulation by imagining the possum skirt I was wearing swaying in the air every time I walked. The problem is form. A problem occurred during testing with various types of skirts: short skirt, long skirt, wide skirt, narrow skirt. By rigging and skinning, there are no parts that can be stretched beyond the original form of the modeling. As physics calculations were performed at the vertex level, side effects occurred, such as legs going through the skirt or the bottom of the skirt being rolled up. Of course, there is room for improvement by setting additional physical properties and increasing the amount of computation. It was difficult to expect natural movement in long and narrow skirts. If you attach a skeleton as before, rig it, skin it, and then use the key animation to move it, the mesh will stretch beyond its existing shape. The movement of the flowing skirt that was initially thought is moving further away. Physics simulation again. As applied in previous hair, a separate skeleton for the skirt was created, separated from the basic skeleton, and attached to the skeleton for the skirt. A method of applying physics simulation was introduced. The basic skeleton of the character is used to control the character's movement. This skeleton determines the overall movement of the character and handles the basic animations such as walking, running, jumping, etc. The skeleton for the skirt is responsible for simulating the physics of the skirt parts, used to represent the movement of the skirt more realistically. Physics-based animation calculates the movement of the skirt by considering physical factors such as gravity, air resistance, and external interference. For example, when a character moves quickly, the effect of a skirt blowing in the wind is physically simulated. The physical effects make the game character's motion feel more lifelike and realistic. By combining these two separate skeletal systems, the overall movement of the character utilizes traditional animation techniques, while the movement of one particular part, the skirt, is expressed more naturally through physics-based form. However, there were problems with applying physics-based animation. In small movements, there is less response to external factors. The movement of the skirt is difficult to express in detail. On the other hand, with large movements, acceleration or collisions make the simulation unstable, causing the movement to appear inaccurate. To respond to these problems, it is necessary to adjust the parameters of the physics simulation or adjust the size and direction of motion. There were limits to the physical simulation results appearing natural in all movements. Combination of key animation and physics simulation. To solve the problem, key animation was applied to the skeleton at the beginning of the chain in the chain-shaped skirt skeleton. This ensures that movement at the top of the skirt is reliably controlled by key animation. We apply physics-based animation to the remaining bones of the skirt, propagating physical movement based on the key animation movement of the top bone. Through this, it has become a form that can satisfy both stability in large motions and movement in small motions. The problem is that you need to separate the skeletons for all skirt-shaped meshes and set key animations for each skeleton for each mesh. To solve this, we used Unreal's retargeting function. Utilize retargeting system. To increase efficiency, add a skirt bone to the basic torso skeleton. Using this, we used Unreal's retargeting system in the process of applying key animation to the top bone of the skirt. Add the skirt's armature to the main torso armature. This integrates the skirt and bodice bones into one frame. Apply key animation to the skirt bone added to the basic torso bone. The animation will control the movement of the top part of the skirt. Using Unreal's retargeting system, skirts of various shapes, long skirts, short skirts, skirts with one side long, skirts with different waistlines, starting points, allows you to correspond to the movements of the basic torso skeleton. Through this, the movement of the upper part of the skirt is moved by the key animation of the skirt bone of the basic torso skeleton, and the remaining parts are moved by the animation key of the skirt bone of the basic body skeleton. Each skirt is moved by a physics simulation of the skeleton connected to the mesh. Using a retargeting system, we efficiently integrate the structure of the existing torso skeleton and the newly added skirt bone. It was effective in combining animations for various parts by flexibly constructing the character's skeleton. So you can see in this image here, retargeting results. Light blue basic skeleton, blue skirt mesh skeleton. Okay, so yeah, the light blue here is like the basic skeleton, and then the dark blue here, the normal blue, is the skirt mesh skeleton. We may not be satisfied with all forms, but we will find the answer. As always, below is a temporary modeling resource for testing that was used in the early R&D process. Key animation, torso skeleton plus upper skirt skeleton, physical animation, skirt lower skeleton, combination result. So here you can see those images. The 4-point skirt was actually a skirt that moved in the air. All of the content introduced above was a process to express the natural movement of the 4-point skirt. Although cloth animation has not been applied to cloth skirts, research is underway to apply it to cloaks and certain types of mesh. In addition, various research is underway to improve the natural motion of clothing using a new engine. Okay, so we'll be looking at another part of the Mabinogi Eternity post on the Korean site. So, Art Technician, Character Creation. As with most game development projects, the Mabinogi Eternity project was especially in dire need of professional technicians in each field. How are existing art resources rendered within the engine? What should I do to bring this to the new engine? There are always many different types of costumes and hair in Mabinogi. What should I do to make this movement more natural? I really wanted to do it when I went to the new engine, but is it possible to express all the things that could not be expressed due to the wall of an old engine? Because we needed people to give us answers to all of this, generally the problem is solved through collaboration between artists and programmers. In order to develop more quickly and reliably, we had to reduce the depth of communication. So we quickly began recruiting experts, art technicians with technical knowledge and experience, and artists in various fields such as character and background models, animation effects, and UI. We hired a technical artist to handle graphics within the new engine, such as shader development and optimization. When it comes to shader porting, shouldn't we just look at the code and import it? It is certainly true that you can look at the code, understand its structure, and import it in a form suitable for Unreal Engine, but the problem was that the code was very fragmented. Of course, just looking at the resource structure and final rendering result, I could see how the shader was built. But what was important to us was not analogy, but accurate calculation. Even if the calculation is slightly wrong, a completely different result will be output. I recreated the art resource production process and began to analyze the database and rendering related codes one by one. I was able to piece together all the meaningful information one by one. As a result, and we have this video here, so this is the result. Neo uploaded to Unreal Engine to commemorate the success of Pleon shader porting. But it doesn't end here. As I was enjoying the joy of completing a successful shader port, I heard countless voices. So, when we get the light, it starts to sparkle, right? We can just set up the light when we take a screenshot, right? Right now, some outlines come out and some don't. Is everything coming out now? The color of the outline is also just showing off the dye color. My hair is sticking out through my clothes. Are you going to fix this too? Is my hair blowing in the wind now? Of course, it was just the beginning. What was fortunate, though, was that we had invited experts in each field. Please allow character shaders to respond to various light sources. You may be wondering how obvious this is. When using Unreal Engine, it is natural for 3D models to react to various light sources. The Eternity project inherits the flat yet unique colors of the current Mabinogi, while at the same time, the goal is to be able to interact with the variety of light sources. However, it is difficult to achieve both purposes simultaneously with the basic shading model provided by Unreal Engine. We created a custom shading model by modifying the engine code. By removing the fine surface bidirectional distribution function and modifying it to adjust the amount and color of light hitting the surface, a cartoon-like expression is possible. It was tuned to be affected by various fixed and dynamic light sources and provided to character shader creators. Simply put, if you only use the basic shading model provided by Unreal, you can lose Mabinogi's unique style with truly realistic light expressions. Unable to react to different light sources or only see the results of one or the other. There are many different solutions to this, but we chose to create a shading model unique to Mabinogi. And here you can see the default lit and the unlit. Good, now draw the outline too. Because the outline can give a completely different impression depending on its presence or absence, it is an element that can visually separate the background and the character. This is an element that would be disappointing if it were left out in a cartoon-style shader. As such, research is being conducted in a variety of ways. In the case of Mabinogi, a very thin outline is used. Due to engine limitations, it may be missing in areas where application is difficult due to translucent objects or some compatibility issues. There are many side effects, so all of these had to be resolved in the new engine. There are several ways to handle outlines. We tried many different things to find a method that suited Mabinogi's needs. In order to create a sensuous outline in a Mabinogi style while reducing man-hours costs, we chose the scene depth processing method, rather than simply transplanting the existing feeling, so that the color of the clothes shines through, so that the lines remain constant even when the distance increases, so that the lines disappear as the distance increases. To draw or not draw certain parts, to draw lines in translucent materials, etc., we encountered and dealt with a variety of issues. I was proud of the process of mixing and applying non-open technologies and working with character artists. As an 8-year Militian who is still working hard at Mabinogi, I was really happy to hear the news about the engine replacement. So what about the dislocated shoulder? Are all the clothes and hair moving now? In fact, after the decision to replace Unreal Engine, shoulder dislocation was one of the most heard stories. I too was eagerly hoping for this as a Militian before becoming a developer. The programmers and animation technicians put a lot of effort into this part. In the existing Mabinogi, there were insufficient examples such as shoulder dislocation. There were many shortcomings such as polygons breaking when the character moved. At Eternity, we aimed to look as natural as possible in shoulders, hips, etc. And unlike the existing Mabinogi, many bones were added to express the detailed parts of fingers. Additionally, additional bones have been set to make customization more natural. With so many bones added, it is difficult to simply port existing Mabinogi animation files. Based on the existing Mabinogi animation, additional parts such as the fingers are being worked on step by step, and the costumes are also very diverse. In a typical MMORPG projector, the bones are often set and the costume design is designed to match the position of the bones. Since Mabinogi's costumes were already available in various designs, it was necessary to match the costume to patterns. It is not possible to plant infinite bones, and it is difficult to animate or control a large number of bones one by one. Many experts are working hard to successfully replace the Mabinogi engine. Of course, there is still much left to do. A core part of the technical art issue has been dealt with, but in addition, there are countless elements that enrich Mabinogi, such as expressions of materials. We will do our best until the Mabinogi engine replacement is successful, and of course, we will continue to do so thereafter. Alright, so the Eternity page on the Mabinogi Korea website has been updated. So there's a lot of new posts, and we're going to look at this one first. So, Aaron long-term repair plan. So today I would like to explain the various processes for importing Mabinogi's 3D resources into Unreal Engine. In general, commercial engines, resources created with 3D tools are imported through a format called FBX. The Pleon engine uses its own extension called PMG. Therefore, in order to import already created 3D resources into Unreal Engine, a tool to convert the extension was needed. Thanks to quick development of the tools, porting each region went very smoothly. So it looks like they've already ported like all these regions into the game, but they still have to go over them, edit them, and make them look good. Like add all the movement permissions and stuff. So we were able to quickly port all areas in Erin to Unreal Engine. Of course, it would be nice if it ended here, but it would be difficult to say that the porting was complete simply by importing it. So yeah, they have to like add all the movement permissions and stuff. And here you can see them importing like resources from the logging camp in this picture. This is like the Gold Isle. Since detailed materials were not expressed in Pleon, it was also necessary to set each material anew to suit the Unreal environment. So like this is the road in Dumbarton. And I think this is what it looks like with the Unreal thing. That looks really good if that's in Unreal Engine. Things that were made so long ago that their form itself needs to be renewed may need to be replaced by making something completely new. I imagine they'll have to do a lot of that for like the insides of buildings and stuff, especially since like the insides of a lot of buildings are like 2D and look really crappy when you actually move the camera angle around in there. But here we can actually finally get like a good view of Dumbarton. So you can see how they changed like the entrance to Dumbarton here, and this looks really good. And also you can see like this board here, but it doesn't have like, it doesn't have anything on it where there'd usually be images. So it mostly looks like they're done with Dumbarton, but only after going through this process can you complete the background resources that fit the engine environment. Fortunately, all regions were quickly imported using the porting tool. It was pointless to transplant the costumes and hair in their basic form. The framework and wires themselves are lacking to provide natural movement. This is because the skin of the hands and feet also had to be replaced. Because there were many parts that were difficult to meet Eternity's standards, it was in a state where it could only be brought in after some processing had been completed from the beginning. First, rather than taking the basic form as is, we proceed with modeling work to process it to meet Eternity's standards. In particular, we add more wires so that not only the hands and skin, but also the clothes and hair can move naturally. Once the modeling is completed, a framework for natural movement is planted. If you make various settings so that the skeleton can move well... Okay, here's a video. Let's see that. Yeah, that looks really good. Of course, things with simple porting processes can be ported efficiently using automation tools. So here's like some weapons. As the final resource production is completed after going through such a variety of processes, the efficiency of the overall process is very important, as there is a lot of work to be done. We are building a solid foundation so that we can build on it without collapsing. So we saw this in the Korean fantasy party. They're like changing outfits and showing how like the hair and the outfits move. So this looks really good. I like the way this turned out, and it kind of shows us that... It kind of shows us that, like, Dumbarton is in progress right now, and it's getting a lot better. You can kind of see, like, here, how the shingles don't look very good right here. But they look really good, like, in this image on the right. Like, look how much more detail they have now. Alright, let's play some Mabinogi today. So not a whole lot going on today, just gonna do some dailies, some casual stuff. And the Aaron Adventure Pass Season 4 starts tomorrow. That's gonna be boring. There's only like one homestead item I want from that entire thing. The rest of the items I do not even remotely care about at all. Oh yeah, what can I do about my techs? Wait, how many tech boxes do I have? I don't even know. 5? We're gonna do one tech mission today, the veteran dungeon, and a lot of commerce, I think. Wait, was I still working on... No, time shift is maxed out. Phantasmal Site needs some more XP. That's for doing repeatable quests. Maybe I'll do some dailies today. Run through a couple of those. What level is that right now? It's level 4? Oh right, I gotta do some taming to get this tech unlocked. Well, for now, let's just level it up. And then we'll give it the XP it needs for the next one. I'm not sure how many of those green crystals I have. Oh, okay, so I'm getting the other green crystals for it, the better ones, when we get to level 7. Wait, so I need 15 more. Let's open up 3 of these. What the... The game crashed? Jeez. Okay, so that's happening with that too. For some reason, if I open up like a certain number of boxes or whatever, that's making the game crash. That's really weird. Like, I feel like that bug has to be on Mabby's end. Maybe I should report that, actually. Because that has to be on Mabby's end, because, like, I'm not having any signs of memory issues in, like, any other game. All the other games are working fine. Like, Contraband Police never has any problems. Dying Light the Beast has pretty high requirements, and like that never really has any problems at all, like running, so it has to be Mabby's side. Okay, so we're gonna take up the Tenacious Taunt one. Wait, I have tons of the noble ones, though. Okay, so I still need the normal... ones to get to rank 7. Okay. How short am I? 40. I have 0. On Thursday, I'll get one of these 2 skills up to 7 then, or both. Can't really do too much about it today, though. Let's open these last 2 boxes and get 10. Assuming my game doesn't crash again. And let's throw out some garbage too. I never use those horn bugles. Don't need branches anymore, don't need that. That can go, that can go, that can go. Don't need all these Finny gems. Don't really do Finny blossoming on this character. That's an ugly fixed eye, who cares about that? And now let's do a little spirit weapon work. And then we'll get her bond up to 70 and then max her bond out and level her up to, again, like tomorrow. Because we can get her bond up to 100 tomorrow. Alright, let's go find out what the veteran dungeon is today. And then I have to get my Neurite from the Adventure Seal shop. Foil dungeon. Yeah, Neurite from here.
한숨.
And what's the normal daily dungeon? Oh, also Foil dungeon. That's convenient.
좀 쉬었으면 좋겠어.
Let's go do the tech mission first, since we're already in Dark Diviner and ready for it. And then after that, we'll go do Coil Dungeon on Veteran mode. Get some speed potions from this. Actually don't really need to level up my homestead anymore. I wonder if I can put all those homestead seeds. Yeah, let's put them in here. There, that'll clear up some space. And then we have finest leather straps. I meant right here, we'll stack those. Okay, common, cheap. Wow, we have a lot of common ones. There, that's a lot better. Finally have some space. Well, let's pull that fine leather out of here. Alright, and let's go. Okay, so that's done. Let's switch back to Arsenal Gunner for the Vet Dungeon. And let's go over to Coil. Oh, and I don't need Mana Shield on anymore. And now for the boss fight. Let's see, there's the headless, the giant fireball sprite. We can get that taken care of first. And then these guys. And now for the headless boss. Meteor, time shift, 5 more. Okay, let's remove the enemy aggro. And then meteor once again. So it's like 7 meteors in total. "18 minutes and 32 seconds. You didn't even touch me. Not even a scratch." Hey, an unlimited veteran filmer pass, that's nice. I could use that today or save that for later, doesn't really matter. Go ahead and put that there for now. Actually, let's put down here, actually. So the veteran dungeon's done. Let's do some dailies. I need some of those blue crystals for my techs. So I'm going to do a couple of dailies for adventure seals. Let's go to Cobb. Do the commerce dailies last. Oh wait, I don't have large nails. Let's go to Port Cian to get those. I used to have a lot of large nails, but I guess I used all those up. So wait, how many do I have left? The fitting? 0. Okay. No large nails left. But for some reason, they are a pretty common drop from hitting these rocks. No idea why. Actually, using the cat might be a little bit faster because the cat just keeps pawing at the rock. He doesn't have to, like, turn around and make multiple strikes like the giant. So this might actually be a little bit faster. Okay, this should be 4. We need one more. So that should be 5. Okay, so nails for stones and Madeline's revenge is done. Let's go pick up the daily trade quest up here. Make 3k ducats during commerce. We can do that later. And now let's go to the Muyu Desert in Idia and pick up Lambert's quest. We're gonna run some errands for him. So let's go get the Aquila base report. And then Alexina also has the Ruin Discovery Daily. So let's go to the Human Markmana Tunnel. Demigod. There should be 8 going in a straight line this way. And then there's another row of them going this way. So, quick way to level up. Quick way to level up the exploration level a little bit. Alright. That chest was found on accident. Let's go do the rafting daily today. One thing I do want to try, I'll equip both dual guns and my staff. I want to see what arsenal gunner skills will work while I'm doing rafting, if any of them. It could be that most, if not all of them, just won't work at all, but I want to find that out for myself. And you need to be in a party, even if you're the only one in it, to do the rafting. So let's rent a raft. And put this right down here. Wait, this one still works? That's cool. So we can still use heavy artillery. Is that the only one we can use? I think that's pretty much the only arsenal gunner attack. Wait, we can't use our flash launcher. I can't use... I mean, it loads up, but we can't use the grapple shot. Bullet Storm probably won't work out that well. See how well this does. Yeah, I guess that works. But it does have sort of a... Well, let's see how it does. Because you do have to wait for the cooldown. Yeah, that works. I can see how effective that is for, like, all these different mobs. Because you have to use it quick enough so you have enough time to get all the mobs. Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. What's the range on that? Let's see how good the range is. This is a great spot to test that out. Ooh, very nice. We got that group way over there. I would normally just continent warp out of here once I have the daily done, but I'm kind of curious to test this out for the whole rafting round. A little too far away from those guys, that's alright. Let them go. Yeah, let's go further. I might complete the entire rafting route. Just because I kind of want to see like how effective heavy artillery would be for like the entire rafting thing. So far it's doing better than I thought it would, though. Okay, what about those guys up there? Like, how is it going to react with enemies that are super high up like that? Hey, not bad. Whoops, I want to steer. Okay, get over here. Yeah, honestly, if you time it right, this is a pretty good skill for this. It works. Oh, there's those guys. Let's get those two. Do we have any more up top? I don't think so. Okay, now we're gonna steer. Oh, and that's one thing the interaction button doesn't work with. You can't click on the steering. You can't select the steering with the interaction button. You still have to use the mouse for all that. Where's the first group? On the side there? Alright, we're gonna get him. We're gonna go over here. Get those two. I think the raft is naturally going to drift more to the left, maybe, so we'll see if I can get those guys without doing any steering. Nice. Look at that range. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, this is doing better than I thought. Okay, let's turn this way. Don't need to dock anywhere. We're gonna do the whole route. Oop, I don't want to dock there. Let's keep going. I honestly don't see why Fatal Scope doesn't work for this. I think it should, because Fatal Scope already has such a long cooldown time that, like, it wouldn't really... You wouldn't really be able to abuse it to complete a mission like this, right? Let's get those guys over there. That heavy artillery one, that one has some range. Let's get those guys. Nice. And its cooldown is just short enough to be effective. Okay, well, for rafting, I'm actually going to be using dual guns a lot more when I play as a giant or a human, because it works out fairly well. Maybe I'll test this with the hot air balloon too. Although I don't think... Well, I don't know, hot air balloon... That'll be interesting, I'm gonna try it. I might forfeit that daily when I get to it, but I will try. That could be interesting. Okay, I think that was the last of the enemies for rafting. But 26 stars, that's not too bad. The reality is nothing beats how broken Mirage Missile is for an elf. Like, an elf can just spam Mirage Missile and be the best at rafting, hot air balloon stuff, airship commerce. But this is a good workaround. This is a good option for like a human or a giant to use like heavy artillery or use magic skills or something like that. Gotta find other things that... Yeah, that was more effective than I thought. I thought I was gonna have to maybe switch to magic or something. Does he have anything good? I don't really need, like, ability pots right now. I would go after antidote herbs if we could actually plant them on our homestead. I wish we could. It's the only kind of herb that we can't really get on our homestead for whatever reason. But yeah, most of this stuff is pretty bad. We don't need a lot of this crap. Kind of enchants do they have? I mean, this might be good if you're like if you're a construct alchemist, right? But overall not that great. What rank is it? 8? No, I don't really care about my star points, so... Oh, let's go to the Arcana Association room so we can get to the library faster and get that book. Okay, now we have to go get the Calendar report. And Belita has that, and the hot air balloon daily. Which I am going to try to do. I'm not going to... I might just forfeit the quest if it's too annoying, but we're gonna try. We're gonna see if any arsenal gunner skills work in a hot air balloon. Heavy artillery shouldn't work in a hot air balloon because it would probably puncture the balloon and would probably go crashing down or something, so it'd be weird if it did work. And then Kelpie has the hot air balloon equipment. Just need a small one. And maybe a flint, I don't know. I don't think I'll need one, but I'll take one anyway. A Fulmer command scroll. Strange, Fulmers aren't supposed to exist in Idia. Where'd that command scroll go off to? Oh, maybe my main inventory? Color point. No? Oh, there it is. So right in here should do. Let's go ahead and set that up. And let's see what we can do here. Take off. Okay, yeah, we can't use heavy artillery here. Oh, we can use the Fatal Scope here. That's cool. So Fatal Scope does work. We can't use the Calamity Cannon or the Bullet Barrage. I can't use Flash Launcher. Okay, they do need to be in range. The Fatal Scope does work, I guess. If they get close enough, I can take them out with normal bullets. That one's close enough. Oh, maybe they have to be a certain distance to use it. Maybe if they're too close, it doesn't work. Okay, so if you get the ones that get too close to you with normal bullets and use Fatal Scope for the ones that are a little far away, this can work. It's not exactly fast, but... it does get the job done. There we go, wait for one to get close. That one's coming close. Kind of. No? There. We might need to actually move closer to some of these guys. Maybe I can get that one? I don't know. Still a little too far away. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to move just a little bit. Come on, come on. There you are. Okay, we need like one more. We are drifting a little too far to the side there. And that's 30 of them, or 30 star points. I mean, it's a pretty slow way to do it, but it does work. With Mirage Missile on an elf, you can just do this in like 5 minutes, probably less. But overall, not that bad. Wait, I wonder what the range on... Okay, 50 meters. That's the range on Fatal Scope. What's the range on something like Thunder? Or Fireball? Hang on, I actually want to look that up real quick. Okay, let's see here. I want to look at Magic. And I want to see the page for Thunder real quick. Because I want to know, like, what its range is, right? How far can it go? Wait, is that like meters or? So Thunder has better range than Fatal Scope, is that right? Hang on. Let's test that out. Oh, whoops. Can I switch over here for a second? So it's about that much distance. If I use dual guns, still in range, still in range, still in range, still in range. Really? Still in range? Wow. Is that really right? I don't know. Well, yeah, we're locking on. Okay, yeah, so Fatal Scope has way better range than, like, Thunder does. It's not even close. What else could Giant use that would have, like, good range, though? Out of all the talents, I'm trying to think, like... Yeah, honestly, if a Giant wants good range for like, hot air balloon stuff, they should probably use Gunslinger. I mean, it takes a little while to do it, but, like, Fatal Scope does have good range. It doesn't have as much range as the broken Mirage Missile, but, I mean, it's still pretty impressive. Like, hang on, let me see if I can get that guy over there. Okay, that's a little too far. What about that one? No, that one? Okay, what about... Okay, now that one's a little bit... Well, actually, they might be out of range because, Oh, okay. Yeah, so it does have, like, some limits, but it's still pretty good. Like, this kind of range is actually... Hang on. Let's see. Gotta take like a step forward each time. Yeah, this is like the max range of Fatal Scope. That's actually pretty impressive. Look how far that goes. That enemy's all the way on the other side there. And I'll bet this would work for airship commerce too. I just wish it had a faster cooldown time. It takes, what, 15 seconds every time it needs to cool down? Is that right? Would time shift work with it? I don't think it would. I think that doesn't apply to Arcana skills. Oh, it's 25 seconds. Jeez. Like 24, 25 seconds. Yeah, and time shift doesn't work with it. That sucks. I kind of wish it did. That'd be really cool if it did, but I guess that'd be a little too cheap. I wonder if there'll be like some enchants one day that can reduce the cooldown time for like Arsenal Gunner skills in general or Fatal Scope or something. Okay, so like when the new trade season starts up, I might do like airship commerce. It'll depend on how active the group I usually do airship commerce with, like how active they are. But if I do airship commerce with this character, I'm going to use... I'm probably going to use like dual guns for most of it. Just because of like Fatal Scope alone. And even when Red Dragons showed up when I was playing an elf, I would just use Wave of the Gun and just shoot the crap out of that dragon. That's what like 3 or 4 people in the airship group did when a dragon showed up. You just use Wave of the Gun and you put a ton of bullets in it. And then I used Mirage Missile for everything else because you needed good range for that. And a Fatal Scope can be used on a commerce airship, which I think it can since it can be used in a hot air balloon, then that'll be a pretty big help. How much range does a typical average dual gun attack have? Not much. I think for an average dual gun attack, Thunder has a little bit more range than this. Like if I were to switch right now and get Thunder ready. Yeah, Thunder has a little bit more range than basic dual gun attacks. So if I do airship commerce, what I'm gonna want to do is I'll probably use like Thunder, and then I'll use Fatal Scope whenever I have it, and I'll use Thunder the rest of the time. So I'll switch back and forth between the two. Yeah, that'd be a really good idea. Anyway, let's get back to the dailies. Let's go turn in Lambert's daily. Because we're all done with that. I guess I'll do the keeping cover daily next. The one out here. Let's try using Arsenal Gunner for that. I don't need to be in a party anymore, I just need that for like rafting. After that, we'll pick up. After this one, we're gonna pick up Canoe's Revenge and do some commerce. I still have that second speed potion. Yeah, good. Okay, so let's get that ancient over there. Nice. What's the damage rate on that anyway? Like, damage increases by 30% of the total aim rate at the time of firing. Firing at 100% grants the re-aim mode. Okay. So it does a lot of damage. Oh, and it's based on bullet slides damage. Too bad there's no Dan tests for the bullet slide skill. If there was, we could increase its power. Does this also improve the range of Fatal Scope or not? Probably not. What's the range on this anyway? That goes pretty far. Oh wow, and that's actually enough to kill them. Surprising. Two more. There we go. Yeah, that one's done. Let's go ahead and take the dual guns off. Pretty much just gonna focus on commerce next. Oh good, and I finally have enough crystals to get that ready, and then Phantasmal Sight can go up to level 10. Very nice. That one's gonna need 100 more. Alright, let's go pick up Kinu's Revenge, and then we're gonna do some commerce from Port Cobb. Gonna spend maybe 20 or 30 minutes doing a little bit of commerce. Okay, I think I want to use the camel in this case. And we're going to take some jellyfish over to Tara. Wow. Okay, so we didn't find the bandit boss ogre yet, but we did get the normal daily trade done, so that's good. We're gonna do like 1 or 2 more runs from Cobb, probably to Tara, and then we're gonna wrap things up. There are no daily part-time jobs in Cobb? Really, at noon? Hang on, what time do like part-time job things start up in Cobb? I'm surprised the pub wouldn't have one. Can I get all the way up there? No? Okay. I mean, there are dailies over here, but are there... Wait, let's go to shop and ask about part-time, or start a conversation and ask about part-time jobs. Okay, we can't ask you. Can't ask you. Wow, you can't have a conversation with a lot of these characters. So pretty much everyone in Town Square. What about... Yeah, even Maddock. I mean, he does have that Venture Seal daily, but that's different. Is part-time job work in Cobb really, like, non-existent? Wait, let's go back and talk to Anik and, oh, we can start a conversation with Augustin here. Okay, he's not looking to hire anyone. Sign doesn't tell anything. Start a conversation? Okay, so she doesn't hire anyone for anything. Interesting. kind of getting sidetracked here, but I want to talk to some of the people here too. What about Ascon? Does Ascon have any part-time jobs for anyone? Okay, he has one, but at 4 p.m., kind of late in the day. Is that the only part-time job that pops up in Port Cobb? This place does not have a lot of work. Okay, at 4 p.m. I'm gonna come back to that board and see if his part-time job is available there. Was he really the only one? It looks like it. I just didn't realize there was like only one part-time job in this area. I thought there would be more, like at least 2 or 3. Like, why wouldn't the general merchant have any work for us? Okay, it's 4 o'clock now in the afternoon. Yeah, his appears here. You'll need to use part-time job materials. Okay, huh. You do that with like a handicraft kit, or? Anyway, I guess Ascon's the only one that hires players in Port Cobb. Wait, what does he give again? He gives like wood boards and some fine firewood and stuff? Firewood, average firewood, and wood boards. I guess if you need wood boards, it might be kind of helpful, but it's pretty easy to make average firewood. So I'm not really sure how valuable this daily is. Does it give any gold? No. Okay. I'm kind of surprised he's the only one hiring in this area. Anyway, let's do one more. One more round of commerce. Tatara. Take these jellyfish over there. How close are we to leveling that up? Ways away. So I'll probably get to level 7 sometime maybe next week. I'm not really sure how much commerce I'm going to do tomorrow because I'm going to be doing like a lot of text and stuff. There's the bandit boss ogre, so we're done with that guy. Now I don't need to encounter bandits on purpose anymore. Well, I guess realistically there isn't too much of a difference between part-time jobs and daily quests for venture seals, except for like how you get them. Like part-time jobs, you actually have to start a conversation and ask about it, or go to the board, and they're only available at like specific times. And then the daily quests for venture seals, you just have to like go up to an NPC that has it and then like ask for the quest. But you can do those anytime you want. But overall they're kind of similar. I don't know. I mean, at least with part-time jobs you can select like a larger variety of rewards depending on who you're helping out. It's kind of odd that you can't really make a lot of gold from part-time jobs, though. Like, you don't really actually get paid money to do them. Get paid in, like, other stuff. Like rare materials for crafting or whatever, or stuff that you can use. Alright, let's wrap things up right around here, I guess. Take the staff off. And before we end the stream, we will check the main website, see if there's any new posts. I don't think there's going to be anything other than the maintenance post. We'll take a look. And see if there's anything going on. Okay, yeah, so we have the maintenance post, a new gacha, and the Air and Adventure Pass Season 4. So, this was available, the info on this was available yesterday. I made a video going over that crap. It's no good. And then, like, the maintenance... Windows update... Cash shop maintenance, yeah, because I gotta add the new gacha. Cookie Island event is ending. I wonder how long Windows 10 will be able to work with Mabinogi, hopefully for at least another few years, because Windows 11 is just an epic piece of crap right now. I am so glad I am still on Windows 10. Don't need that spyware piece of crap with all that AI that they're adding. So, some massive waste. And then I made a video about the Air and Adventure Season Pass, Season 4 Pass yesterday. I think this is a total ripoff. I would not pay $22 for the special pass. And the rewards aren't even that good. I think, like, overall, to make it short, my overall problem with the Air and Adventure passes when they do this is the price for the special rewards, and the fact that most of the items are not tradable when they should be. Like, I think if you just made most of the outfits, chairs, and stuff, like all that stuff tradable, then it'd be a lot better. And also, it's like $22, where there's a season pass all the time in the mobile kart rider game that Nexon has, right? And like all the rewards in that are like as good as these rewards or better, and it's like $2.99. So it's like nothing. Whenever I buy the season pass there once in a while, that's like $3. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I would never pay $22 for it, not for what it offers. And the same thing goes here. It's like, yeah, I might pay $3 to $5 for all the special rewards for something like this. Maybe even a maximum of like $10, but $22? No way. That's a total ripoff. And what does this thing have? A bunch of outfits. Not really my style. I mean, I guess they're okay, but... Oh good, wings. I have a bunch of wings that look like that already. That doesn't look very good. I guess the piano is kind of cool. So the instruments are the best part about these, probably. What's magical about them? What do they do that makes them, like, special? Do they have any special effects that make them better than a normal one? Than, like, the other ones? Probably not. I'm not seeing any special effects or anything. But yeah, I guess these look okay, if you want them just for the skins. Chairs and homestead items. We already have like 2 or 3 stage chairs already, and like 1 or 2 chairs that kind of look like this. I guess that's a little different. And the concept art. It is kind of cool how they show this concept art for a lot of things like this. But overall, not really a gacha I would put money into. Like, the instruments and chairs won't be that expensive on the auction house. Maybe at first they will, but in 2 or 3 months you can probably get all this stuff for just a couple mil. And the outfits certainly aren't worth it. Alright, well, we're gonna wrap up the Mabinogi stream here for today. So tomorrow you can decide whether or not you want to buy the Air and Adventure Season 4 pass or buy the Lumina Star box Gachapon. Decide how Nexon's going to rip you off. Personally, I wouldn't buy either one of these. So tomorrow, Contraband Police from noon to 3, and then we'll play Mabinogi at the usual time from around for about 3 hours. Do some commerce, we'll do some techs, and maybe some commerce if we have some time.